Hello everyone, in this video I will go over my solution to the problem named Beautiful Graph. This problem is taken from Educational Round 56 and is rated 1700. This problem is an external problem on the coloring strategy in bipartite graphs and combinatorics. In this problem, we actually need to count the number of valid colorings and print it modulo a prime. So let's look at the problem statement. In this problem, we are given an undirected, unweighted graph consisting of n vertices and m edges. We have to color each node of the graph with either color 1, 2 or 3. And the condition in a valid coloring is that for every edge, the sum of the numbers on the nodes connected by those two edges should be odd. Now we need to find the number of ways to color the nodes with colors 1, 2 or 3 such that this condition is met. This graph is called a beautiful graph and we need to output the number of colorings modulo a prime number. And note that you have to write only one color on every vertex. And the graph is a simple graph, which means it does not have any self loops or multiple edges. So for t independent test cases, you need to output the number of valid colorings. So let's look at the first sample test case. In the first sample test case, we are given a graph with two vertices and a single edge connecting them. And there are four possible valid ways to color the nodes of this graph with colors from 1 to 3. And these are the three ways in which you can assign the colors. So in the first way, node 1 is colored with color 1 and node 2 has color 2. And the second way, node 1 has color 2 and the second node has color 1. And similarly, you can check that all these three colorings give a sum which is an odd number. And you can verify that the correct answer is 4 in the first sample test case. In the second sample test case, we are given this graph with 4 nodes and with 6 edges connecting them. And this is actually a complete graph on 4 vertices. And in this case, you can verify that there are actually no possible ways to write the numbers 1, 2 and 3 on the vertices of the graph so that it becomes beautiful. And in this case, the answer is actually 0. So let's build on the idea from the first sample test case, which has only 2 nodes and an edge connecting them. And let's see what are the various possibilities. The only 2 possibilities which will lead in a valid coloring for these 2 nodes would be an odd number on the first node and an even number on the second node, and an even number on the second node and an odd number on the first node. And you can verify that the sum of an odd and an even number is odd, and this is the exact condition which we need. We need the sum of the numbers on the vertices connected by the edge to be odd, and the sum would only be odd when one number is even and when one number is odd. So this leads us to the first observation. So this is the key idea behind the full problem actually, that this observation of the fact that every edge connecting two vertices should have one vertex with an odd number written on it and the other vertex should have an even number written on it. And based on this, let's color all the vertices with only 2 colors. So there are actually only 2 colors required to color all the vertices in this case. So now that we have colored all vertices with only 2 colors, which means either an odd number is written on it or an even number is written on it, now we need to make the second observation that the graph should be bipartite. And the reason why this is true is because notice that all nodes adjacent to a node with an odd number written on it should have an even number written on it or an even color, and all nodes adjacent to a node with an even color should have an odd color written on it. And you should be able to figure out why this is true. This should be very obvious to you by now. And the reason is that every edge should have one node with an odd number and one node with an even number. And hence all nodes which are colored odd should have adjacent nodes with color even. And all nodes which are colored even should have an adjacent node with color odd. And based on that fact, we know that the graph should hence be bipartite. Now that we have made these two key observations, let's finalize the solution. So notice that the graph need not have only one connected component. The graph can have multiple connected components, and that's the first thing which we need to realize. So for example, the graph could look like the following, in which there are 4 nodes in one component, and the second component has just 2 nodes, and the third component can again have 4 nodes in a weird manner, and this could actually be the whole graph of 10 nodes. And the key observation is that, let's say that there are x ways to color the nodes such that this component is beautiful. Let's say that there are y ways to assign the colors 1, 2 or 3 so that this component is beautiful, and let's say that there are z ways. Then the final answer is just x into y into z. So this is the key idea which you need to understand. The final answer is x into y into z. And based on this fact, what we can just do is, for each connected component, find the number of ways to color that component with colors from 1 to 3, and multiply all the number of ways for all the components, for all the connected components. So this is the third observation which you need to make. And now in the final part, for each connected component, so let's assume that we are currently in just one connected component. What we are going to do is the same strategy of coloring all the nodes with an odd number or an even number. So let's say that there are c odd number of nodes which are assigned an odd color, and c even number of nodes which are assigned an even color in this connected component, of course. What we actually need to extend is that this odd number can be either 1 or 3. Right now what we have done is we just ran the normal DFS to compute the colors for every node, which is either an odd color or an even color. However, what we actually need to do is we actually need to color the numbers with colors 1 or 3 and the color 2. So let's say that this is the current connected component, and let's say that we assign the color 1 to this node, a color 0 to this node, and a color 0 to this node, because this is what the DFS would do. Now there are two cases to consider. The first case is that we make all nodes colored 0, the odd nodes. And the second case is that we make all nodes colored 1, the odd nodes. And this basically means that in the first case, the nodes colored 1 have the value 2 written on them. And in the second case, what we are doing is we are writing the value 2 on the nodes which are colored 0. So let's analyze these two cases separately. So let's say that there are C0 nodes colored 0 and C1 nodes colored 1. So in the first case, what we are doing is we are assigning color 0 to the odd nodes, and hence in the case 1, the number of ways would actually be 2 to the C0. And this is because assign each node colored 0 to a number which is either 1 or 3, basically an odd number. And in the second case, what we are doing is we are assigning all the nodes with color 1 an odd number which is either 1 or 3. So hence there are 2 to the C1 ways in which we can assign each node a number 1 or 3. And this is the main crux of our solution. So just to recap this very quickly, what we are doing is we are writing a DFS to visit the current connected component. Then what we are doing is in the DFS we have figured out the number of nodes colored 0 and the number of nodes colored 1. And what we are claiming is that the final answer for this connected component is 2 to the C0 plus 2 to the C1. And what we are basically doing is multiplying the answer for each connected component. And this is the final answer. So let's just implement this idea in the code. So first we read in the number of test cases t. Then for each test case we read in n and m, which is the number of vertices and the number of edges. So let's have a global variable n and m, which is the number of vertices and the number of edges, which can be up to 3 into 10 to the 5. And we have an adjacency list. We also have the colors, which is either 0 or 1. And we also have a visited array because this is not a tree. And let's just read in the edges of the graph. Also, before we read in the edges, we need to reinitialize all the values. So over here, I'll basically clear the adjacency list. I'll assign color to be -1. Basically, -1 signals an unvisited node. And we also initialize a visited to be false. And now we can read in the edges. So the edges are of the form UV, and we create the graph. And now we basically call the solve. So the solve basically assumes that the graph is made, like everything is reinitialized. So now in the solve function, what I need to do is I need to have an answer, which is basically the final answer, which is the product of the answers for each connected component. And basically over here, if the current node is not visited, then we call a DFS on that node. So here I have a DFS. DFS will actually detect whether or not this component is bipartite. So what I need to do is, if not DFS of I, then I need to do answer is 0 and we need to break. Otherwise, we need to basically have the number of color 0 and the number of color 1. And what we need to do is we need to put answer as answer plus the power 2 of the number of nodes with color 0 and power 2 of the nodes with color 1. So I need to have power 2 array which stores the powers of 2. So I'll create this a little bit later in the code after I write the DFS function. So let's just close the solve function and the main function. The DFS function is where we do the standard DFS for the bipartite graph. So for each v adjacent to u, I'll do so if the color of v is the color of u, then basically I return false because then the graph is not bipartite. Otherwise, I'll basically check if not visited of v, I'll call a DFS on v. So if DFS of v also returns false, then I will also return false because the graph will not be bipartite. But before I call DFS of v, I need to assign color of v to be not of color of hue. And notice that I need to count the number of zeros and the number of ones. So that's why I basically need to have this additional check that if color of V is 1, then the count of the number of ones plus and basically increases. Otherwise, the number of nodes with color 0 will increase. And in the end, I need to return true because the graph is bipartite like so far. And this is the DFS function. Also in the solve function, I need to reinitialize count 0 to be 0 and count 1 to be 0, and I need to assign a color. So assign node I a color. So let's this is arbitrarily, you can choose whichever color you want to assign node 1, it doesn't matter. So let's say that we assign node 1 a color 1. That's why C1 will increase by 1, will become 1, and C0 will basically be 0. And then I'll call DFS. The DFS returns false, I'll make the answer 0 and I'll print out the answer. Otherwise, what I need to do is actually I need to take the product. So the product of 2 to the 0 plus 2 to the 1. I mean 2 to the number of zeros and 2 to the number of ones. I need to take all of these under the modulus, which is not 10 to the 9 plus 7, but it is this number. And I also need to make sure that I have the powers of 2 array created. So I'll have that a global variable or a vector powers of 2, which is of size n at most. And basically, even before I read any test case, I'll compute powers of 2 for all numbers. So powers of 2 is basically the previous power times 2. So 2 to the I minus 1 and basically into 2. That's how you compute the power of 2. And then I'll basically read in the test cases. I'll solve for each test case. In the solve function, I have the answer printed out. And let's just run this code to see that it should give the correct output. So this is the sample test case. And there's a small mistake. Yeah, the mistake is I need to initialize powers of 2 with 1 because 2 power 0 is 1. And the second mistake which I made is I forgot to put visited of u to be 1. And that's why they may give a wrong answer. It's still giving wrong, so and the last mistake which I made is I forgot to assign the color of I to actually be 1, and that's why it was becoming -1. I was running the DFS. So now that I've debugged the code, I'll just submit it to see that it hopefully gets accepted. And as you can see, the code got accepted. So I hope you like the problem and my solution to this problem. As you could see, this problem really tested your understanding on the coloring strategy in bipartite graphs and also some basic principles of counting. In the next few videos, I'll be covering similar interesting problems on the coloring strategy, which is actually a very powerful strategy to keep in mind. So if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more such content. Thank you.